Hello, I'm David Peter. I'm a songwriter, musician, and an audio engineer with 20 plus years in audio production experience. Now, are you a musician? Do you play an instrument? Are you a singer? Have you got a song you'd like to record? Well, I can show you how to do it. With my years of experience, I can show you tricks and tips how to record not in an expensive studio, but in the comfort of your own home. Would you like to do that? Well, come along with me. I'll show you on these YouTube videos exactly how to do all those things using things like GarageBand or Reaper on your own computer, in your own home. Anybody can do it to make songs that sound professional and sound like you recorded them in a studio. Well, come and join me, and I'll show you how to do exactly that. So let's open up a new project. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind, if you are doing these things in iPad and iPhone, they are going to look different than they would be on your Mac. So there's a lot of features that a Mac has that an iOS device does not have. But you can still make amazing music with your iPad or your iPhone. So let's start a new project. So I'm going to open my GarageBand here. This is version 10.4.8, which I believe is the latest version of GarageBand. Now, it's going to open a project that I had open in the original video that I did. It automatically opens up the last project that you were working on. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to close that, and I'm going to start a new project. Now, one thing I want to tell everybody to remember that it is 125 beats per minute, this song. So we're going to keep it at 125 beats. And we know the song is 3 minutes long. So we're going to keep those things in our minds. So let's close this project. We can save it. And then it's going to come up with this dialog screen here to start a project. Now you can choose, these are some old projects that I've been working on in GarageBand, but we're going to start a new project, an empty project, and we're going to choose that. So it is empty. Now, how I like to start a song, when I begin, I like to have a drummer, a real sounding drum. I don't play to click tracks very well. I do much better with real drummers. So I'm going to choose drummer, okay? And they start off here with pop rock SoCal. Now, I don't remember if that's the default that opens up on your computer. When you get GarageBand, it'll come with some drummers and some plugins, which are effects and things like that. But you can download these things. I went through in GarageBand, and I think I downloaded everything that GarageBand has to offer. I downloaded them again. And again, it's all free, okay? So this is what it looks like when you open up GarageBand. Now, it's set at 110 beats per minute. I'm going to change that to 125, because that's what the song was, which is called Near the Dam, which is my personal song that I wrote. And it starts off with C major, which is kind of the main key. Now, if you don't understand music theory, that is A-OK, not needed. If you don't want to change this, you don't know what the key of your song is, it is okay. But the only thing I would have you remember is if you want to change the key of the song in the future, you've done keyboard parts, you've done MIDI parts, you've recorded things in GarageBand, what it will do, it will change all of those things that you've recorded into the new key. So you have to be careful. If you started a project, don't change the key, okay? So I know my song is most likely in G major, okay? And it's G major. So we're going to change it to G major. But again, that's not important. So I'm going to save this to my project files. I have my own project files here, teaching, tutorial, and I'm going to call this, let's say, GarageBand tutorial, okay? GB tutorial, okay? Okay, so what we have here is a drum track. So let's give this a listen. And that's 125 beats per minute, okay? Okay. So to begin with, I like to do this, to have that drum track down. Now, because it's kind of like an old-fashioned pop song, like Beatles or REM or something like that, I might want to change the song. Now, Beatles were Britpop, and let's see, they actually have Liverpool. So kind of like maybe like a Ringo kind of drum. Let's give that a listen, see what that sounds like. Very busy, which we can change that later if we want. I think that's a little too busy for what I want to do right now. So when I mean busy, it's got a lot of fills and dum, 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 dum. So to change that, if we want to lessen that, what you do is, with all of these dialogues open, you can click this scissor here, okay? So this is the editing feature. And with this drum selected, we could simplify it by dragging it over, simplify it. You can actually change the type of sound that it is, okay? Simplify it. So northern town, maybe that means something like Liverpool. I'm not really sure what that means. And what you see here, it's using a bass, a snare drum, and a hi-hat, okay? And what that is what it's going to be using. It's going to be using those three drums. And it may have some toms in there as fills when it does the fills. Now, the fill is kind of turned up a lot. Okay, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit, and let's give that a listen now. It's okay. Maybe not something I would keep. I don't know. Maybe we can do some swing. So swing just means instead of making the song quantized, which means everything is exactly on the beat, there's a bit of a swing to it. So it's more realistic. Okay, let's give that a listen. I like that. You can hear it a little bit. You can turn up that swing if you like. That sounds pretty good. Okay. So what you could do with the drums, which are incredible, is you can, let me move myself out of the way here. You can use this zoom tool here. This is a zoom. This zooms in and out, as far as the song's going to be. Okay. Let's move me completely over to the left there. And you can just drag it, okay? You have two things here. You have the loop tool, which will just loop what you just did, okay? So up to bar 8, okay? So you see here, these are the bars at the top, bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8 bars, okay, of a song, okay? And this is a 4/4 song. So you could change that to 3/4, 5/4, 6/8. Now, again, if you don't understand music theory, don't worry about it. That is just the different odd timing. So 4/4 beat is what most songs are, and that's what this song is going to be. It's going to be 4/4 beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. That's the song. Easy. Not going to make it too complicated. So you can loop it, which is just loop what you did, or you can just drag it. And what's cool about this dragging feature is this will kind of change up the song. And like a real drummer, because a real drummer isn't always going to play the exact same beat all the time, this kind of automatically will start changing it, okay? And you hear that fill there? I think there's another fill coming up here. Yep, there we go. You can hear the hi-hat changing a bit. So I lay this down quickly, just so I know, just so I have a beat. It's like a metronome, something, a click track to keep me going, okay? So again, to show you real quick how to choose these drums, and let me just save that. You can go up to this tray here, the library, and for drummer, you can choose rock, alternative, songwriter, electronic. Yeah, maybe songwriter might be good. Let me see what it's got there. So you've got funky songwriter. You got pop songwriter, experimental songwriter, roots songwriter. So that means like roots rock, kind of like country rock or REM or even some Beatles stuff. Yeah, let's give that. So you change the drummer, and you've got roots chosen there, and back roads, country line, Edgewood down at the bottom here. Let's see what back roads sounds like. That's a little odd. I don't like that so much. What about country line? Kings Mountain. Change that hi-hat beat. Kinda cool. Old growth, I don't know what that means. So you can change the simplification, make it louder, make it more complex, make it softer. I kind of like that. So you use this tool up at the top here. This rewinds it all the way to the beginning, okay? So let's listen to that. I'm going to change it because this is using cymbals, like a ride cymbal. I want to get just a hi-hat beat. Let's see what that sounds like. And it's got the swing turned up there a little bit. I'll turn that down a bit. It's got pretty busy fills. And then you can change what the hi-hat sounds like. See that? Now you can do this with any kind of drums. They have electronic drums, they got hip-hop drums, they got anything. And you can do that with all these videos, with these the different drummers that you can get on here. I kind of like this. I'm going to keep this. They call him Mason. They give him a name, the drummer, which is kind of cool. So we're going to keep Mason, Roots Songwriter. We've got the hi-hat on 2. We got the kick and snare on 3. And you can just play around with those things to see what this sounds like, okay? So that is my drum track, just to begin with, okay? Now I don't have fills. I don't have the intro, the verse, the chorus, or anything like that. I'm going to start doing that once I get my acoustic guitar, which is the rhythm part, once I'm going to start recording that. So we're going to do that up next. I'm going to do the next track, which is the acoustic track.